want people dying over this. We don't want people murdered over this stuff. What a responsibility I have towards this community. Am I going to do everything right? Am I going to say the right things? Do I project the right image? My mind just spinning with thoughts. I just hope I get it right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know who that is, obviously. Joining us now is Dr. Jeffrey Spiegel. He's a world-renowned plastic surgeon and professor at Boston University School of Medicine. And good to see you, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure. All right. So, first of all, I wish we would have played the. I think it almost would have been more appropriate if we played the soundbite of when he won the award at the ESPYs, which he shouldn't have won, and stood there and talked about his, the fashion police go easy on me, and ladies, the dress and the shoes and all that, because I think it just speaks, in my view, to the ridiculousness of this situation, how he's being put up there on a pedestal. Having said that, you do great work. I mean, you are an expert in the field of changing one's face. Let's concentrate on Bruce Jenner to Caitlyn Jenner. What kind of work? What's entailed? What if you know what Bruce Jenner underwent to become what he is now, facially speaking? What needed to be done to him to become her?
Well, it's a great question, and it's not an obvious. There's not an obvious answer. If you think about it, if you see a man who's got long hair and earrings, you're more likely to think they're a rock star in a band, a hippie, or something, rather than a woman. If you see a woman with a little bit of facial hair, you think that's unfortunate that it's not a man, or a woman with no hair, you'll think she's probably ill, or here in New York, you'll think she's a fashion model or something, making a celebrity statement. Yeah. So it's not sort of superficial things. Our brains have evolved to look for certain cues in the face to allow us to recognize gender, attractiveness, and familiarity. So, for example, you're regularly on TV, and people recognize you and know you, so you'll be wearing a different clothing, maybe a different hairstyle. How do they do that? These are the things I focus on. And what we've learned is that the very same things that go into recognizing gender, we can use those for defining attractiveness. So the things we learn from taking care of transgender women, such as what features of the face do we need to alter so that people will see you the way you see yourselves, are the same things that can alter for any woman to help her feel more attractive.
Right. So, Bruce, did Bruce Jenner have a lot of work done recently, do you think, in the face? Because there was work done on the face, years and years ago, where people like me, who knew him as Bruce Jenner, the athlete, said, "What's that about?"
Oh, sure. I think it's a common process for a transgender woman who is, especially someone who is in the public eye, like Bruce Jenner was, to be thinking about ways to slowly change their face that gives them some sense of heading towards their goal without necessarily revealing themselves to everybody before they're ready. But certainly, Caitlyn Jenner, or Bruce Jenner before, has had a number of surgical procedures, and they range from, or they should have ranged from, deep skeletal changes. Changing the skull bone, changing the eye sockets, changing the cheeks, the size of the jaw. You know that a man's face is larger than a woman's face, but there are specific elements, such as the curve of the eyebrows, the amount of light on the eyes, the amount of teeth that show at rest. There are very little things that are so important.
Subtleties that I couldn't repeat back to you or volunteer to you, but now that you're saying them, you say, oh yeah. But let me ask you, what about the Adam's apple deal?
Adam's apple is a very important one, and it's an easy one to change, because if you are a man without an Adam's apple, no one notices that.
Are there men without Adam's apple?
Well, I don't have much of an Adam's apple here. I don't know if it's on the screen.
You mean a man without a noticeable Adam's apple?
Exactly. It doesn't stand out.
Okay.
Whereas a woman with a pronounced Adam's apple is distinctly unusual.
Well, because women don't have Adam's apples.
Well, the Adam's apple is the forward projection of a cartilage in the neck in which lies your vocal cords. Okay. So they come in different sizes.
So women could have women have Adam's apples, but they're hidden?
Correct. They're just smaller.
Okay. I did not know that. Yeah. All right. And we could get into that. What about, very quickly, the male organ, the sex organ? I believe they say Bruce Jenner has not undergone that change. Until he does, is he considered a true transsexual?
So here's the problem a transgender woman has. A transgender woman knows who she is as strongly as you or I know who we are. So they know their gender and they know who they are. The problem they have is that people who meet them don't see them the same way. So if you meet a transgender woman who looks like a man, it doesn't work. So the sexual organs are not as important for them.
Really? So even the hormones and everything that go along with that, it's just the facade is more important than the actual inner feeling?
Well, the inner feeling is strong in there,
Yeah.
and what's important is that people see them as women.
Very complicated issue, but very interesting, and I mean, your work is very interesting as well. Thank you very much, Doctor.
It was
Good
a pleasure.
to speak to you. Thank you. All right, folks, Give Me 5 is next. You're going to love this Give Me 5. I promise you. Chubba Wubba is in this one. But first, Donald Trump, he's still at the top of the GOP polls, and some critics, they say he doesn't have a plan, but in fact, he does. He wrote a book that says he will make America great again. It's called Time to Get Tough, and Newsmax has an offer to get the book for free. Go to newsmax.com/Trump book and get your copy now.